Thomas M. Steiner offers a powerful shift in how we view learning, growth, and mastery. He challenges a deeply ingrained mindset most of us unknowingly live by, the belief that life is a race to finish line. From childhood, we have conditioned to chase results, whether it's getting good grade, mastering an instrument, winning a competition, or achieving a certain psych. The problem is that this constant chasing often robs us of the richness of our own present moment and builds frustration when we don't reach our goals fast enough. Skinner introduces the idea that life is not a result, it's a process, and how we engage with this process defines our peace, focus, and potential. Skinner draws on his experience as a piano technician and a musician. These roles require patience, repetition, and an intimate relationship with detail. In such a work, rushing through a task or obsessing with results leads to poor quality and inner tension. He realized that the key to mastery, whether in music, sports, or life, is to fall in love with the act of practicing, not just with the idea of having achieved something. This shifts our outcome based thinking to process based awareness in the foundation of the book. It is a state of mind that is calm, focused, non judgmental, and rooted in the present. This is not a mystical concept, it's a psychological and spiritual approach that anyone can learn. By adopting the practicing mind, we begin to see that each repetition, mistake, or small improvement is not an obstacle, it's exactly where we are meant to be. One of the most striking realizations Steiner present is that the present moment is the only place where life actually happens. When we are focused only on the end goal, we are mentally removed from the process. This disconnect breeds anxiety, impatience, and a lack of fulfillment. In contrast, when we learn to fully engage in the act of doing, whether it's practicing scales on a piano, folding laundry, or writing an article, we locked a deep sense of peace and presence. Steiner also critiques our modern obsession with speed and multitasking. We are taught to be efficient, to hustle, to do more in less time. But this kind of lifestyle often comes at an expense of quality and peace. Here, his message overlaps with Carl Newport's deep work, which argues that real productivity and meaning comes from depth, focus, and sustained attention, not from busyness or multitasking. Steiner suggests that constantly jumping between tasks or seeking quicker results disrupts our inner rhythm and increases dissatisfaction. The more we can slow down and focus on the thing deeply, the more our work becomes a form of meditation. Steiner's emphasis is on a non judgmental awareness. When practicing a skill, we often judge ourselves harshly for not being good enough. We get frustrated with mistakes and feel we are wasting time. Steiner advises replacing these harsh inner critics with a curious observation. This is not to deny area improvement but to shift from criticism to constructive, mindful observation. He reminds us that mastery is built on small, imperfect steps repeated with intention. James Clear and causes a similar sentiment in Atomic Habit, where he explains that small actions done consistently over time leads to remarkable result, but only if we don't let impatience drills the process. What makes Steiner's message so compelling is that he strips away the romanticism of mastery. Instead of painting mastery as a glamorous destination, he reveals it to be a daily discipline of showing up and focusing deeply on one step at a time. He encourages us to practice not just a skill but our very approach to life. We should practice how to focus, practice how to calm, practice how to respond to frustrations. In this way, life itself becomes a practice session, and each day offers us another chance to grow into a better version of ourselves. The mechanism of habits and thought. Steiner notes that our mind tends to jump ahead of the results, creating restlessness. He explains that this tendency is a product of mental conditioning, not a fixed personality trait. The good news is that this can be unlearned by becoming conscious of our own thoughts pattern and redirecting our attention. We can train our mind to be more present. This overlaps with mindfulness practice in modern psychology and Buddhism, where awareness of thought is the first step to liberation from it. Stenner illustrates this with a metaphor. Imagine standing on the bottom of the staircase. Your goal is to get on the top. If you constantly look at the top while climbing, each step will feel slow and you will feel unwhelmed. But if you focus solely on the step in front of you with care and presence, you will reach the top before you even realize it. This metaphor is repeated throughout the book and serves a guiding image for the practicing mind. He also begins in the concept of process oriented thinking versus product oriented thinking. In process oriented thinking, your focus is on the moment you are in, the repetition of action, and the improvement of technique. In product oriented thinking, you focus on the trophy, the outcome, or the end result. Steiner shows us that the second kind of thinking leads to anxiety, while the first cultivates peace and performance. This distinction is echoed in Carl Dweck's mindset, where a growth mindset focuses on effort and learning, whereas the fixed mindset focuses only on proving ability. He encourages us to see every action, no matter how mundane, as an opportunity to develop our inner discipline and presence. Even something as a small as a brushing your teeth or trying or tying your shoes can be turned into a practice of mindfulness if done with attention and intention. Ultimately, the practicing mind is called to slow down and come back to ourselves. It invites us to embrace the art of practice not as a means to an end, but as a fulfilling journey to itself. In a world driven by distractions, speed, and performance presence, Sterner's message is both revolutionary and grounding. It reminds us that mastery and peace are not found at the end of the goal. They are cultivated in the very moment you decide to be present.